Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to Learning English with Benjamin Samuel. Today, simple past and present perfect. Alright, so let's start with the simple past. As you may remember, you use the simple past when you talk about actions, events, or just generally speaking, situations or things that happened in the past. For example, when you tell a story. It's as easy as that. So when you use the simple past, you express that something happened at a specific point or period of time in the past. Let's have a look at two examples. First, last Saturday, Mo and Luke went to London. Here, last Saturday marks a specific point in the past, namely last Saturday, when Mo and Luke went to London. Let's move on to the second sentence. During their trip, they visited a lot of tourist attractions. Here, during their trip indicates the period of time in the past, which is last Saturday from sentence number 1. These expressions or words are so-called signal words. Like, for example, last Saturday, last week, last weekend, yesterday, 2 years ago, or in 2016. Whenever you come across these signal words, you can almost be sure that the simple past is used in the corresponding sentence. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. Just as a quick reminder how the simple past is formed, you already know that the simple past is formed with the infinitive plus the addition of the ending ed. There are regular and irregular verb forms. With the regular verbs, you just follow the rule above. But be careful, as there are some exceptions with spelling in some cases, as you can see here. The irregular forms, you just have to learn. I'm sorry for that. But remember, you can find a list of irregular verbs in your book. Now let's move on to the present perfect. We also use the present perfect when we want to talk about actions, events, or situations that happened in the past. But it is not important, not known when something happened. A specific point or period is not mentioned. You also use the present perfect when you want to indicate that something that happened in the past is important, has consequences or effects in the present. Let's have a look at some example sentences. First sentence. Luke has been at the shopping center before. Here, there is no specific point or period mentioned. It is not important, or we simply don't know when Luke has been at the shopping center before. Translating that sentence into German can help you find out if you use the present perfect here. Let's have a look. You could translate that sentence as follows. Luke ist schon einmal im Einkaufszentrum gewesen. So we can translate the before with German schon einmal. Let's move on to the second sentence. But he has never been up on the roof. Or, but he has not been up on the roof yet. Again, here, as in sentence number 1, there's no specific point or period in time mentioned. Let's translate these two sentences together. The first sentence could be translated as follows. Aber war noch nie auf dem Dach. So the English word never is translated as nie. The English word yet in the second sentence could also be translated like that. Let's have a look at the last sentence. Mo has done his homework. Now he can play football with his friends. Again, there is no specific point in time mentioned when Mo has done his homework in the past. All we know is that now he has finished his homework and he can play football with his friends. So finishing homework in the past is important and has a consequence and the effect that he can play football with his friends in the present. That's why we use the present perfect here and not the simple past. In general, the present perfect appears with adverbials of time as just, gerade eben, gerade erst, already, schon, often, oft, never, nie, not yet, noch nicht, and before. Schon einmal. Now let's just quickly repeat how the present perfect is formed. In order to form the present perfect, you need a form of to have, so have or has, and the past participle, the Partizip Perfekt in German. Again, there are two types of forms of the past participle, the regular ones and the irregular ones. The regular ones are the same forms as we already know from the simple past. The irregular ones have to be learned, unfortunately. Again, there's a list of these verb forms in your book. Before I will end the video, now it's your turn. Have you understood how and when to use the simple past and the present perfect? Stop the video, take a sheet of paper, and use a table to repeat the most important points of both tenses. Write them down in each column of the table. The solution will appear in a few seconds. 3, 2, 1. To sum it all up, you use the simple past when something happened at a specific point or period of time in the past. So when you want to say when something happened, signal words are last Saturday, week, yesterday, 2 years ago, and so on. You use the present perfect when something happened in the past, but it is not important or we simply don't know when something happened. A specific point or period is not mentioned. So we can say that you use the tense when you say that something happened, not when. You also use the present perfect with consequences and effects of past events in the present. Signal words are the adverbials of time, like just, already, often, never, and so on. I hope I could help you with my video. If you didn't understand something, just pause the video or watch it again. You can watch it as many times as you like. So, goodbye and see you in class.